It's amazing. If you are an investor, and our cash purchases are at historic highs in California because of the investor activity, and that's why all of the areas in California ought to be of interest to you, because you're going to have clients that are thinking, maybe I should be investing in real estate right now, and they should. About a year ago, the Fortune magazine did a whole issue in March of 2000 and excuse me, in 2011 on why investing in real estate is such a perfect time to do so. And if you're interested, I have the PDF I can share with you. So let me just talk a little bit about the distressed market. Here's some of the information on the $18 billion that California is receiving. I say kudos to our Attorney General, who kind of waited until the last minute, and I think was able to negotiate a very, very rich settlement for a very large settlement for California. But please understand that Fannie and Freddie loans are not part of this, right? So it's everything but for the 5 lenders that were involved. And we don't know the details yet, so I will leave a copy of this. It's also on the CAR website, but there is a website where they will be posting information once it becomes available. So if you do have, acquaintances, clients, people that are asking you if they're eligible or not, we don't know yet. Is it going to make a huge difference in the California marketplace? No. But is it going to help some people? Absolutely, right? And I think that's a positive thing. So how are we doing in terms of working our way back to some type of a new normal? Well, the delinquency rate that got as high as 11% is now down to 7.2. The foreclosure rate that got to almost 6% is down to 3.5. So we're above long-term trends, but we're moving down. Here's a graph that I took right off the Foreclosure Radar website, which is a very rich source of information about the distressed market. This is a look at the inventory since the beginning of '07, and I do know the numbers for 2011. The number of properties in pre-foreclosure in 2011 were off almost 20% compared to 2010. The number of properties scheduled for an auction sale was actually also down about 20%. And the REO for sale that the lenders took back and are offering for sale was up like 0.6%. It was essentially flat. So if you just kind of eyeball that, you can see that the numbers are still high, but there is a slight long-term downward trend in that information. So let me kind of go local a little bit and look at all of Alameda County. So this data is from Monday, so it's a screenshot taken from their website. So we have 2,211 properties in pre-foreclosure, 3,160 properties where an auction has been scheduled, and 1,141 bank-owned properties. There typically is a big fallout or cancellation rate for auctions, and that tends to happen when a short sale goes through. That's the main reason, but we may also have had a loan modification or a bankruptcy. Those are the three reasons. So here's just breaking them out just so you can see all the beautiful dots. All of the opportunities here. So here's a look at Alameda. So you can see, like, someone could see a headline for Alameda County and come out here and go, oh, I really want a bay view for 50 cents on the dollar, REO, turnkey, Viking range. And you're like going, no. So I think, comparing and contrasting these pictures is a great way to show that. In Berkeley, you have only 14 REO for sale, 68 in pre-foreclosure, auction set for 117. In Oakland, 667, 934, 408 bank owned. And then I kept in Contra Costa County just from this morning just so you could see more of this. They have 2370, 2992, bank owned 1123. The Foreclosure Radar is available as a monthly subscription for people that are doing a lot of REO. And one of the things that's really great about it is it tells you not only if the property has a second, but who has the first and who has the second. So you really can kind of strategically decide whether that's the direction you want to go. So let me look at just kind of local market conditions, and you can see how things have started out the year. This is data through February. So we had 809 units closed escrow in the county in February. I hope, were some of them in here? I hope so. Median home price, $323,000. Please note that the y-axis does not go to zero, so this is kind of very magnified a little bit. 2,277 units, starting to level off a little bit, and it will start to increase in March and April as we get into the more active buying season, and about a 1.5 months of inventory. City of Alameda, 27 units closed escrow in February. Median price of $377,500. 148 units are for sale. 1.7 months of inventory. Berkeley, 26 units closed escrow, median of $567,500, 155 units for sale, and that's just starting to come up a little bit, 1.7 months of inventory. Oakland, 196 properties closed escrow last month, median price of $210,000. Sometimes I feel like I'm in a time warp when I see these prices, you know, it's just amazing. 1,233 units for sale and 2.1 months of inventory. So that just gives you a little bit of an idea. And I hope that you can see, if you're not already, how you can use this to put together just a dynamite presentation for your clients. Now, I just have a couple of more points I want to make about the market, and this data is from a survey that CAR has done every year for about 35 years, where in June of every year we ask realtors about their last closed transaction. So in June of 2011, 58.7% of you said it was a traditional equity in the home sale. 19.7% of you said nope, it was an REO, bank-owned property, and 20.2% said it was a short sale. Now, just to make a couple of points here, look at the percent of sales with multiple offers. 35.2% for traditional, 58.3% and 57.5% of the REO and short sales respectively had multiple offers. So again, it's all about setting up expectations for your clients so there aren't any big surprises. This is interesting. Average number of offers, at least 3. Look at all cash. Traditional sales, 25.5% of those transactions in this survey were all cash. REO was 34%. So huge investor presence. And days on the MLS, again, the short sales, it's twice as long as that Kardashian wedding, right? 141. I was very troubled by this slide. This is the question, is the seller going to buy another home? In 04 and 05, over 70% of you said absolutely. In 2010, about 32% of you said yes. It came up last year, so I thought that was positive. And we thought we would ask what was going on. Why isn't the seller planning to? Well, for almost 20% of them, the seller was a lender, so okay. But for everybody else, the answers included, I don't want to have that big of a financial nut on my plate. I don't have good credit. I don't have cash for a down payment. I don't have a job. I love living with my mom and dad again. And I'm waiting for the market to bottom. We do a seller survey every year, so I just thought I'd put this in when the sellers were asked, why were you selling? So about a third of them said, I'm foreclosed, right? I had no choice. Look at all the other answers. The other answers really do look like the way the market used to be. People are moving because their life has changed, right? Their lifestyle, their size of their family, what their needs are, their job, retiring. So that market is still out there. 17% of you said the buyer was an investor. That's the highest we've ever recorded here. And 7% said it was an existing homeowner buying a vacation or second home. And those markets are extremely attractive. And then 6% of you said it was a foreign buyer. Fascinating. The foreign or international component of the California marketplace is growing. I don't think we'll ever look exactly like Miami and parts of Florida, but there are parts of the state where it's very, very active. And you know, we're familiar with the Canadian snowbirds who buy in Palm Springs, right, or the Pacific Rim families that come into the Bay Area. What's been interesting over the last 6 to 9 months is to hear about the German investors and the German money that's coming in because they're fleeing the Eurozone, right? And they're looking at California real estate as an attractive place to invest their money. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So when you look at our forecast for 2012, it's really indicative of a very slow growing economy in general. And I think you saw that moderation in the national forecast. I think sales are going to tip a little bit above that 502,000 bench, about a 1% increase. We'll have a very modest increase in the median home price, but it's still below that 300,000 kind of threshold for the state. And to be perfectly clear, I think anything that surprises us in 2012, and there are always surprises, is probably not going to be a surprise in the positive direction. And again, the issue that keeps me up at night is the Eurozone and the fact that I'm hoping that Greece kind of behaves and changes and gets with the program. I'm hoping that they can hold everything together. Obviously, the European Central Bank is doing what our central bank did 3 years ago. But if they can't, it would be devastating. You know, it would be as big or bigger as what we went through 3 years ago. So that would be kind of a game changer, and I'm hoping it's a very small probability that won't be a reality, but I do feel like we need to at least have it on the table. So what's a realtor to do, right? That's the question. What is a realtor to do? Well, I want to give you some suggestions. So we survey buyers and sellers every year. So we're interested in talking to people that actually completed a transaction and find out interesting things about it that we can share with you and maybe help you adjust how you're doing the business. So what we found out last year when we talked to buyers was almost all, 94% of them said they used a realtor. 58% said they found you online. And that doesn't mean the direct marketing and all of the stuff that you do doesn't have an impact. It probably does, but everybody's kind of online, or more people obviously are online than ever before. Over half of the buyers interviewed more than one agent. About half of them Googled you, so you got to Google yourself. I'm sure you all have, and make sure everything there is something you're proud to share. 93% are interested in hearing from you via social media, and that's a huge change from 2010 to 2011. We have really tipped over with respect to social media. 54% said they would work with you again. You may be familiar with surveys that say that the next transaction, the percent of sellers that are working with the same agent again is in the single digits. And I think part of that is because we could probably do a better job of staying in touch with meaningful information. And I think that's one thing that I would look at is how are you doing your customer relationship management? Is it effective? Is it meaningful? Do you stay on top of that? 80% said they would find it useful to have ratings available for agents. So just like, you know, a new restaurant opens up in Berkeley and you go on Yelp and see what people are saying about it, people are going on Yelp to find out what people are saying about realtors. The problem with Yelp and also with Zillow is there's no checks and balances to make sure that the people actually weighing in on you had a transaction with you. So I've been working with CAR Strategic Planning Committee for many years. We're in the midst of a second pilot where we're providing, we're essentially paying the cost for brokerages to provide realtor ratings. And you know, the reality is nobody likes to be rated, right? Do you? No, of course we don't. But it's a reality of the marketplace today. It's what consumers expect.